Yo.
Hey, yeah.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Lobries and Gentlegrams.
We're speaking about our favorite rapper, Drake, man.
Lawbury Graham.
Drizzy Drake.
Champagne Pissy.
Drake just keeps doing goofy crap, and that's why we end up crapping on him.
Oh boy, here we go, you guys.
Up next, we have Joe Budden banning Drake from the pod and going off on him for his beef with Rob Markman and his disdain for criticism.
Marilyn Monroe v. Ho
Has officially been banned from one of the biggest hip-hop platforms, period.
Because
Nobody respects a coward, man. Nobody respects a bully. Somebody that's taking shots at somebody who don't mess with nobody.
The reason, to me, is very dope. The reason is going to what I've been saying with the whole Document 79. It's for dissing Rob Markman and hip-hop media.
Champagne Pissy is getting rebuked by Joe Buttons for coming at Rob Markman, man. Rob Markman ain't do nothing to nobody, man.
So if you guys don't know, Rob Markman is a voice in hip hop media that is very much respected. You guys can make sure you guys go check out his channel as well.
You see what happens when you attack a hip-hop journalist unprovoked? Somebody that minds their business, you went out of your way to go call him a goof. For what? Was it worth it?
And from what I understand, from what everybody was telling me, is that goof in Canada means PDF. Now, I don't know if that's real or not. And if it does, it's kind of weird to go around calling somebody a goof, if that's what that means.
And the funny thing is that Rob has actually spoken positively of Drake before, but as soon as he has an opinion that is actually warranted, like how you handle that beef, now it's a problem. You have egregiously lashed out at people for thinking what everyone else is thinking. So you either must be in denial or have such a high degree of entitlement that you believe that you should be above it all, whether it's the culture or the criticism. And no one should be above some constructive criticism.
You know, Drake called him a goof, right? Drake called him a goof for not knowing the next Wayne lyric as Tory Lanez was rapping it to him. And there's also a little bit of history there where per Rob Markman, he was reached out to from Drake's camp during the beef to quote unquote show some love to the boy during the battle, and he declined. So this is kind of like one of them hissy fits that we're seeing from it at this point now, at least per Rob Markman.
Now, luckily for Drake, Rob actually spared him. He responded back on his channel to Drake and said, bro, I have no issues with you. All I do is critique music. I tell people what I like, what I don't like, and I'm positive over here. You're not gonna get me to crash out, buddy.
Drake, I hate to break it to you, but when you're a public figure or you're putting your art out there for public consumption, you're not only opening it up to praise, but also criticism.
Yo, Drake, my brother, I think you're not reading the room here. You just went through one of the most horrifying rap battles of life. I do kind of look at Drake like, bad timing again.
In today's episode of Lobry in Gentleland, the wig-wearing womanly Tupac wannabe waistsuit got washed by Joe Budden. Banished from the podcast, the petty petition padre Supac Manure, the Marilyn Monroe v. Ho, has been beefing with Budden back many millenniums ago. But when it was time to show his bars can blow, Joe's the emasculated mob boss melted like the Canadian snow. But now Joe's retired, so Lobry's not afraid to send some petty Instagram captions Joe's way. So Joe's returning the stray, telling Supac to stay away.
Let's be honest here, Drake. If I joke back and call you a name, you might sue me. Now, all this also happens after Drake announced he was doing another interview podcast with Bobby Althoff. Drake caught a lot of heat, backlash, and outrage from a lot of people saying, bro, what makes you think that we want to sit through another interview with you and Bobby? You keep going to these platforms to avoid having to answer questions about the beef and the battle with Kendrick.
Talk that talk.
Drake betrayed his best eaters, Maul and Ak. And Akadiddy, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Even DJ Academics told him yesterday, Drake, after you put out this upcoming album, Iceman, you're going to eventually have to sit down and do an interview with an actual platform. A platform that's not going to glaze you.
Ak has been on a unhinged Drake rant too, but every time you see, yeah, he tired of this, bro. That boy is supposed to be your best eater, bro. You over here not even showing love, bro. Academics done hurt his brand rocking with you, gang. You supposed to show him some love, but we've been said Drake does not like academics, and academics is just like a clinger.
Who do y'all believe is getting the first Iceman interview? At post Iceman, what platform is getting that interview?
A platform that's going to hold your feet to the fire and ask you hard questions.
He's never gonna do that. He knows to curate. He knows he can't go on no hip hop platform. That's why I think this is important.
Well, today on the Joe Budden Podcast, episode 855, make sure you guys go check it out on Spotify or Apple Music. Joe was not a fan of Drake disrespecting Rob, so much so that he told Drake, "You are never invited to my podcast." If you're going to continue to attack black media and diss black journalists, you are not welcome.
And reactors, don't forget the reactors too.
Welcome to the biggest podcast in hip hop.
But okay, so somebody pulled up an old Rob Markman clip of him interviewing Tory Lanez,
Talk
where
to him,
Tory
Joe.
Lanez was spitting a Lil Wayne
Talk
verse.
to him, Mouse.
And I guess he stopped at the end of the final bar so Rob could say it with him, and Rob didn't. So Drake comments underneath, says, of course, this goof Markman can't finish the bar. Rob Markman responds underneath the comment, ooh, comment beef, responds underneath the comment and says, what did Rob Markman say? He said, well, I would call you names too, but you would sue. And then that was the end of the exchange.
Yeah.
So the next day I go to get my manicure.
Remind you, this Rob Markman and Tory Lanez interview was something from 6 years ago. Why is Drake going back commenting on something from 6 years ago? I don't know.
It's a good comeback. That's a nice comeback right there.
It
That
was
a body
it was-
shot.
it
That was
was
a body
good.
shot.
I
It
seen a
was
tweet
good.
earlier. Someone called him Supac.
So then the next day I'm getting my manicure and Rob responds on his platform, YouTube. And he's like, my response to, or whatever the caption said. And I click it, and boy, was this just the fucking cleanest reply that you could.
That's the thing about Rob. But that's also why Drake is a super goof. Because Rob is the type of person that even when he has every right to up that smoke on you, to have pure Anna for you, he gonna show some grace, yeah? Sometimes, I'm the devil on your shoulder. I'll be the devil on Rob's shoulder. Hey Rob, you gonna let him say that?
Do, and I was so mad at Marvin. I was
Classy
so
guy,
mad at Rob Marvin. Too classy.
I loved it.
Nah, like it was shady, but classy.
Why does Drake have such beef with Rob Markman? That's the thing I don't get.
I don't know.
Because for Drake to be Drake and take the time to actually go into the comments of a random post to come after
From some old ass content.
He actually covers hip hop and don't just glaze him.
There's some history there. If per Rob, if he declined to show some love or push a narrative for them, now he's an enemy for life.
Right.
It seemed weird to me.
Not to me. He seems to have beef with the way that everybody covered the Kendrick battle who didn't suck his dick.
Got it. Yeah. Okay,
Facts.
that makes sense.
There's a problem if you went to the show and if he spoke to you. I think he just thinks that people sided with Kendrick and didn't give him a fair shot.
Nigga, you got a fair shot, gang. Don't rewrite history like when push-ups drop. Niggas will stop it, gang. You got all the fair shot in the world, nigga. You niggas was running a victory lap after push-ups. Y'all don't remember that? Your whole team, academics, y'all was running a victory lap after push-ups. Nigga.
And that manifests in these stupid beefs like this one.
Yeah, and he's been on that since the battles, really. Maybe before the battles. Some of the criticism has been taking place. I read an article in the New Yorker actually the other day talking about the decline of music review in general, music criticism in general, how like in the Rolling Stone or whatever, they used to just fucking bash people. And now it doesn't really happen as much because
Everybody turning soft, man. That's what it is.
that's partially at least because of fan bases being so rabid and annoying that it's like it's not even worth
That's a good point.
scathing somebody over. And,
That's a great
and
point.
to your point too, the person themselves can now just fire back.
Or now I'm never going to do anything with you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
I will say that's facts, but that's also not facts because fan bases have always been annoying. I think we do this thing where we it's a little bit of main characterism where we go the time in which we're in currently right now is the most whatever. We always do that, but like Michael Jackson has always had fans that were like religiously loved Michael Jackson. You could die about talking about Tupac the wrong way. You feel me? Like you could. That's not no new stuff. Madonna fans was like, we're not gonna do that. That's not new.
So the people who are, wary of criticism, those are typically the people who probably haven't put as much effort into it and don't want you to criticize the project, because that person who put a lot of energy into it probably also is okay with you saying, you know what, I didn't necessarily care for this. Okay, cool, smooth. That's cool. I'm gonna move on. It's not gonna hurt me either way. You know what I'm saying? But somebody who may not want that criticism is already feeling some kind of way about the work that they've produced, right? Like maybe they feel a little self-conscious about it because maybe they know that they haven't done something that is, worthy of praise, right?
One thing I do gotta say about Joe and give him his flowers, I said this when I reacted to his diss tracks. Joe called out a lot of the stuff that people are saying about Drake years ago. And I mean, like I said, the way I looked at it is, Joe bought the material. No, Joe wrote the blueprint. Pusha bought the materials. Kendrick built the house when it comes to annihilating Drake. That's what
taking place.
Right. Punish you
When
for it.
maybe I just didn't like your album, bro.
The artists that want you to review their music, I feel like you can tell now. And most artists don't want you to review their music.
Unless it's positive.
I think a lot of artists just don't want you to review the music. When Killer Mike came up here, when Jid came up here, when Offset came up here, you could just tell the people that, have you heard this album?
Yeah.
Right. What did you think? I'm here to hear what you think.
Because they probably understand the fact that they've put a lot of effort. You said Killer Mike, you said Jid. I don't know if he said somebody else. But those are two artists that you would think that kind of Offset. They've put a lot of energy and a lot of effort into the project. It's taken them probably months, if not years, to do this work. Clips, right? They're very proud of the work that they do and they stand behind it.
I feel like if my job is to critique other people, let me put my hat in the ring to be critiqued too. And to show y'all that to any other people who are too sensitive on my critiques, whether it's a fan or an artist, nigga, I get critiqued too. I put myself out there. You see me trying to throw niggas in paperwork because I lost the battle, nigga?
Versus the people that are playing a different game that don't really care about the reviews. They want to go to their controlled places.
Environment.
Yeah.
Like their streamer that they fuck with, or Apple, or Spotify, or Zane, or just whoever they're going to.
Yeah.
Not somewhere that's so irregulated.
That's why I would love to see Drake, because I actually think Drake is a good interview. I think he's interesting and smart and funny and thoughtful.
Damn, Mark, nigga. Hey, write the love letter, why don't you, nigga?
But he so rarely now goes to any platforms where he can demonstrate those things outside of the controlled environment.
Just about to say, because he cannot control the environment. He can't control it. If it's not somebody who he has a vested interest in, right? Like a Aiden or somebody, Aiden ain't gonna tell that man that shit is whack. He ain't gonna tell him that. He ain't gonna tell him that's, you know what I'm saying? Like he gotta go to people who gonna tell him, yo, I don't like this, but I like this, or I really don't like this at all, or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
You know, like he's about to do this, I know he's about to do this,
Bobby
another thing with Bobby, another podcast. I would love to see him go out. It doesn't have to be here, although I think it'd be amazing here, but like
Not invited up here, buddy.
Fair enough.
Not invited.
Yo, Joe said you're not invited up here, buddy.
Joe says, forget it, because the BBL buffoon is banned from the podcast.
But see, I like the running theme of that. I like his problem with hip hop media, and I like hip hop media's problem with him.
It makes sense that Joe says he's no longer welcome on the podcast, right? Drake was dissing him on the song Give Me a Hug in 2025, saying Melissa Ford, the other co-host on the Joe Budden podcast, she's a legend from the six, but she's standing next to a D-sucker, aka Joe Budden. We saw what he had to say about Joe Budden's For All the Dogs criticism, but Joe makes a good point in that he likes the whole thing about Drake having a problem with hip-hop media and hip-hop media having a problem with Drake. But he's giving us a lot to be critical of. There's a reason I talk about Drake more than Kendrick as of late on this channel. I would love to be talking about Kendrick, but what's there to talk about? He keeps it strictly to the music. When the music comes, we're going to be doing a million videos about Kendrick Lamar.
Watch what they say about the reason why they don't think Drake do interviews with black media. They gonna say something alluding to how the questions got to be like, it got to be a controlled environment. Like he got to be so well protected, bro. Like you can't kick back and just have man talk no more.
I don't want it to end.
No, but just see, I want some answers.
I think I've gotten all the answers that I was looking for.
The thing is, we're seeing it in real time. Do we really need the answers when we have the actions, which obviously speak louder than words?
They've kind of manifested themselves. Back to your point that all the beefs that he's had with what's my man's name on YouTube that he was firing at before with the glasses, Fantano. Fantano. Like he was fired at him however many years ago. Rob, now everyone, you,
but there's no accountability for it. Like we may get our answers for why we think he did a thing, but I think there's something interesting about saying, Drake, why did you do that? Why would you pick this? Why do you have picks? Or why did you make this choice? Or why do you think you won the beef? Or why do you think you didn't win the beef? Or whatever the thing is, whatever feelings he's feeling, we get it through the music, we get it through representation, but we don't get it from him on the platforms where people can ask questions back.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I've been saying the whole time. The question to him is not necessarily about. To me, the question is, why did you do that thing? Specifically that. Don't beat around the bush, right? Why did you sue? Why did you egg Kendrick on to do what he did? Why did you egg him on? Why did you behave that way specifically? Those are the questions that people want answered. And once they figure that out, they can form a much better opinion. Right now, it's like, we don't know why you did all of that. And then why are you behaving the way you're behaving?
He stands zero to gain from actually talking about the harsh reality of everything. There's no answer he could give as to why he's suing or why he mentioned Whitney or why he did anything he did throughout the battle or after the battle that's going to make anyone who currently has a dismay towards Drake change their mind.
And I just don't like that. And it's not just him. I mean, we see that with a lot of big stars. They just don't go on platforms anymore.
But it's different with him because now every day or for the rest of time, it just looks like a music video for Not Like Us. That's why. Stay over there with Aiden Ross.
I don't think Aiden Ross really respects Drake at all either. He just sees the potential bag he can get from having him on the streams. Because Drake has done countless cringy things on there, and Aiden will react like many of us do, which is why a lot of those reactions turn into memes. So whatever he's been doing this past year and a half, how about let's not do that, do the complete opposite, and see if we can get a different type of outcome.
Stay over there with Bobby.
Bobby's not hip hop. Bobby don't even care about hip hop. Bobby's podcast was about to die before Drake probably gonna come back and revive it. So she's not gonna ask him anything.
And honestly, these appearances that Drake has been doing really haven't been the greatest either. All you have to look at is just the chat, fam. It's a constant stream of L's and people clowning on Drake and the things he does. Just because you're going on these people that you assume are safe doesn't mean that you're going to have the reception that you're looking for.
Stay on that side. Stay on the side of the Aiden Ross and the Bobby Altov. You're making your bed, lay in it. And I agree. I said before, he doesn't win anything by sitting down with a respected journalist who's actually going to challenge him. But don't try and do it later. You can't just act zesty with Bobby Altov and come back on some tough guy mafioso music, then try to play victim in an interview, crying about no one giving you a fair chance or people blindsiding you like you did with that LeBron interview after the Pusha T beef. I think you lost the privilege of playing victim in an interview after you crapped on a respected hip-hop journalist like a Rob Markman, and you're laying your bed by only turning to these streamers who are completely detached from hip-hop.
Stay wherever you feel comfortable at. Right? You're still not, that's still a controlled environment.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
But stay over there.
Aiden Ross, Bobby Alt, whatever, XQC are the people that I feel like he's consistently around the most.
At Drake's level, that's fine, right? That's fine, bro, that you want to carefully orchestrated, carefully conducted. You want everything, like, at that level, bro, that's fine. But at some point, when things get hairy, right? When things get kind of like, okay, nigga, you can, it's not going, we don't want the polished look, nigga. We want to know, like, down to the nitty gritty, like, what's going on, bro? Because now niggas is looking at you like, is something wrong with you? Like, did you grow up? Like, what is the reason why you behaving the way you behaving? That's it.
Like, I kind of take offense that he even is calling Rob Markman a goof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob Markman is Comfortable
Solid.
in his skin.
Yes.
Never did nothing wrong
And a
to
good dude.
nobody.
Yeah.
Just a good dude all around the board.
That gives a fuck about music, by
He
the way.
loves music, loves hip hop. He's a fucking.
That part.
He does not like it when people speak against him. He spoke against Joe, bro. Y'all don't remember the For All the Dogs tweet, that IG post? Y'all remember what Drake said about y'all review about All the Dogs? He's never like that. The difference was this Karen used to have the power to silence niggas anymore. It's like we're tired of being bullied and we fighting back. We fighting back. No, nigga, you garbage, nigga. As a human being, nigga.
Now, this is not the first time that Joe has hinted at not wanting to interview Drake. After Drake and Bobby did their first interview 2 years ago, Joe stated that Drake likes to control interviews, he likes to make edits. Basically, he has full control of the interview and how the interview comes out.
That's why I heard it from. I hope he play that. I hope he play that.
Now, I believe Nicki Minaj also interviews the same way. She wants full control of everything that's said. She wants to see the final copy of the interview. And Nicki is somebody that Joe has sat with and done interviews with twice now. Plus, we've also seen Joe go on record and tell the audience that he's phony. Joe has gone back on certain things he said he would never do in the past. So, if Drake calls Joe tomorrow, or shit, even next year, and says, yo, I want to get on the podcast, do you guys think Joe will actually turn down the offer? This morning, Drake fans were pissed off hearing Joe Budden ban Drake from his podcast. So, Drake fans went digging. They found this old IG live from Joe Budden and Drake. This was back in 2020, quarantine times, where Joe and Drake were joking and laughing and talking about possibly interviewing with each other.
Remember though, back in 2020, it's funny because Joe was asking Drake when he's going to come for an interview.
Come on, you got to talk to more people than just Elliot.
Nah, yo, I can't do this with you right now.
Why?
Cause I can't.
Because you're at the embassy?
Nah, I just I know where this is gonna go. It's gonna go left.
No, it's not. Yo, why do you think that about me, man? We can have like a smooth talk. You do it with Tory Lanez and all your other fucking buddies.
It's gonna be bad for the brand right now. Oh.
but all the other OVO dudes kick it with me.
I know. Everybody.
You're the only one that avoids me for some strange reason.
Never avoid you. I just don't see you. We're never in the same place.
Because I'm too broke.
I didn't want to say.
You invited Elliot and B-Dot over there to the embassy. They got to see the Tootsie Slide exclusive. They got to hear Tupac in your bathroom.
Can I have another drink, please?
Look at this. You got a bartender there. Holy shit. Can I have a beverage? I'm parched. Get the fuck out of here.
Yo, go back to your live, man. I'm gonna talk. We have an interview to do for when the album's ready. I don't want to do this right now.
You've been saying that for a year, and then now I have a whole leaked album with 30 Drake joints.
That's old shit. That's not the new shit. Don't worry.
All right, fine. Enjoy yourself over there. I'm
gonna be in your comments though. Don't worry.
Yo, but let me ask you, why do you troll me this way? Honestly, you don't think it's hurtful to me?
Why? What do you mean? It's with an encouraging undertone.
There is no benefit for Drake's public perception and his career to go sit down with someone who's going to ask him questions with the intention of getting the harsh truth out of him. That's why you're seeing him do these lighthearted appearances with Bobby Altoff and Aiden Ross, where he can get by with, just having fun, tapping into a new audience of, white girls who maybe watch Bobby Altoff, or these young kids who watch Aiden Ross. And they'll glaze him. They won't ask him anything tough, anything that'll make him look bad, anything that will embarrass himself. And he can still, show off his personality, resonate with a new audience, connect with whoever's watching this content, but avoid actually touching on anything that can make his reputation look worse than it already does.
You guys know exactly what's going to happen next, right? We're going to see Petty Drake in rare form. So that means Drake is going to start playing chess with Joe once again. This means we're now going to be seeing a little bit more shots at Joe from Drake. We're going to see some name calling. Drake will now start to show love to platforms that Joe does not rock with. So that means we might see a possible Maul Drake interview in the future.
At least give Maul an interview. Damn, bro. He really ducking and dodging. He really in his feelings, boy. Maul ain't never switched up on you. What's the problem, bro? Maul ain't never switched up on you. What is the problem? That goes to show you it's not just the people who switched up on him. It's about the people as a collective. It's about hip hop media, period. He's not hip hop, man. He's not like us, man.
Maybe a Taxstone Drake interview from jail. Shit, maybe even Drake and Troy Ave interview soon. Who knows? The man is petty. Either way, this is going to be very interesting moving forward. Even if Drake had no intentions of going up to the Joe Budden podcast, I'm sure after hearing Joe say he's never going to be invited to the podcast, Drake is going to be taking it very personal.
Yeah, bro, like I said, I think it's a little bit more shock value, because if Drake called him today and was like, hey, bro, let's I got a lot of things I want to say. They taking that interview, bro. Like, it may, even if it's not the entire cast, Joe is taking that interview, and you know, they chasing Shannon Sharp at this point for interview numbers, and I think that would, I don't know if it'd do that crazy, but definitely be something that people would be interested in watching. So I don't see the capitalist nature of Joe and what we've seen, the earnings, and keeping all of that in mind, what a Drake interview would do for the Joe Budden podcast.
So yeah, guys, this is just another situation where I feel like, Drake, you're not moving smart. If you want to change the narratives, if you want to change the perception that people have of you, the last thing you want to do is just piss off more people in the media. You have been running away from accountability for a long time. You can't go around crying victim when you have allegedly done some of the things that have been alleged about you. And while I do feel like people have a right to react however they want to react, when it comes to receiving criticism, at this point, if you're going to do that, then just have them stop talking about your music altogether, because people will jump up and down when they're getting praised for their work and crash out when they hear something not so positive about them. Guess what? Just like sports teams, guys, there's wins and losses. Even the teams that win the chip, fam, lose a bunch of times during their season.
What do you guys make of Joe saying Drake is never invited up to the podcast?
So let me know how y'all feel about that in the comments.
Make sure y'all get the likes up,
like this video,
support the channel.
And I definitely want to let you know that your support is greatly appreciated.
Let's get it.